Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. Holding China accountable, something no one wants to do right now. The communist nation is accused of severe human rights violations, specifically against the Uyghur Muslims, but there are other minority groups involved as well. Joining us now to talk about this, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Welcome into Wake Up America. Senator, it's a pleasure to have you on. I want to ask you, do you expect the Biden administration to ever try and hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable for the coronavirus? Or are we just going to continue to do this and see viruses come from China every few years until there's a virus that just kills us all?
And well, Rob, one of the things we know is if you look through the recent decades, look at pandemics that have affected us, what you see is the genesis for these is coming out of China. We know that it is important to get our diplomatic scientists into this Wuhan lab of virology. We know it's important to look at what they were doing with the studying, their lack or their hesitancy in sharing the information with us. Now, when it comes to the Biden administration, our concern is that they are going to go soft on China. We have already seen the decisions that President Biden is making through executive orders, and these are things that are serving to embolden the Chinese Communist Party. Look at what they've done with energy. Look at what they are doing as they talk about diplomatic relations, re-entering an Iran nuclear deal. We know that the new axis of evil is Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea.
Senator, the Biden administration seems totally off focus right now and off message. Joe Biden signed an executive order to make sure that we don't call it the China virus or the Wuhan virus. It's okay to call it the European virus like Andrew Cuomo does, the governor up in the state of New York. But shouldn't the Biden administration be concerned with vaccinating Americans and focusing on holding China accountable and making sure this never happens again versus words right now?
Of course, this is the time to tend to getting the American people vaccinated. And thank goodness for President Donald Trump and Operation Warp Speed. We have a vaccine that we can now get out across the country. Each of the governors have their own plan of how they are distributing, how they are vaccinating people. Our governor in Tennessee is doing a terrific job. You have other states that are doing a great job. You look at West Virginia, you look at Florida, you look at South Dakota, and we know the goal is to get vaccinations for individuals and to continue the research on these other coronaviruses. Now in Tennessee, we have the Denison Lab at Vanderbilt University that has, the hospital there, the medical school, that has done a tremendous amount of work on this. That's where the focus needs to be, not on going soft on China and giving them a pass, or, Rob, giving the World Health Organization a pass because they covered for China.
Do you have any faith in the World Health Organization?
I am very concerned about the World Health Organization, the way they covered for China, the way they would not work with Taiwan. Taiwan did a great job responding to this virus, making certain that they handled it appropriately, and they wanted to push that information to the side because they did not want to offend China. Here's where we are. We need to realize whether it is economically, militarily, looking at our healthcare security, China is not our friend. They are an adversary. They do not want to be a member of the community of nations. They want to dominate the community of nations.
And Senator, do you think that this virus did in fact come from a lab, that this might have been intentional?
I don't know the answer to that. I do know that this did come from Hubei province, and they're in Wuhan. Otherwise, the Chinese Communist Party would not have said, we are going to isolate and cut Hubei province off from the rest of China. Now you can fly out of Wuhan International Airport and go anywhere in the world you want to go, but you're not going to come to other provinces in China.
Yeah, they certainly are celebrating the way that they have eradicated this virus miraculously. Senator, I'm so glad you're on this morning. There was an article yesterday, an expose that came out conducted by the BBC about the treatment of the Uyghur Muslims in China. Now, I just don't think that many people know what's going on here. Let me read you a couple quotes. The Uyghur Muslims, they're doing forced labor in secret internment camps in China. Up to 1 million people have been detained. China calls them re-education camps. These are not re-education camps. People are being forced into sterilization. There's mass rape. This is Xi Jinping's deep, dark secret. There's genocide happening. And these are the people that are making many of the Nike sneakers and Nike jerseys that a lot of us are wearing. And I don't think people are even aware of that.
And it is absolutely disgusting when you look at some of the treatment of the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, the Hong Kong freedom fighters, the way China is aggressive toward the Taiwanese. And when people look at Xinjiang and what is happening there with these Uyghur camps, and when you see the photos of the Uyghurs with their heads being shaved, their hands tied, and they're forced into these rail cars, this is horrific. And these companies, the NBA, you know, I've been on their case. They had a training facility there. You have Nike, you have Apple, you have other companies that are using this slave labor to make these products, this forced labor. And should this be viewed as the human rights violation it is? Absolutely. And how dare the Chinese want to be a part of the Human Rights Council at the UN when they're conducting these kind of human rights violations.
And this is the NBA's deep, dark secret. LeBron James is so woke. He's pro BLM, which is fine, yet he wears Nike brands and he's sponsored by Nike. And these brands are being, you know, a lot of this stuff's being put together by Uyghur Muslims, and people just don't know about that, and many other minority groups that you just mentioned. Do you think that Hunter Biden has compromised his father, the president, Joe Biden, when it comes to U.S. relations with China?
When John Durham finishes his report, we're going to know a little bit more about this situation. Forward to getting that information. There are lots of questions around the situation, so let's see how that's going to, what Durham is going to have to say.
Senator, quickly, next Tuesday, we've got an impeachment trial. I call it a drive-by impeachment because there was no time for discovery. I thought the point of impeachment was to remove somebody from office. Apparently, that's not the case.
With this impeachment that is coming up, I feel like it is an unconstitutional action. The president is no longer in office. If the Democrats want to proceed with this impeachment and impeach a former president and open the door for impeaching former presidents and former civil officers, then the list is long for people that would be recalled or could be recalled for impeachment proceedings once they leave office. I have some of folks in Tennessee say, you know, maybe we should call Jimmy Carter back for the Panama Canal actions. There's a list of things for Bill Clinton.
A list of things, I would say so. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Senator, we appreciate the time. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for all your time this morning. By the way, I hope you've got a stack of Newsmax magazines right next to you. You are on the cover of the February edition, and there's a lovely article about there in that magazine as well.
Thank you.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.